Hello. This time I'd like to think about rebirth. Watching YouTube, I've noticed that many people were talking about rebirth or reincarnation. Also, rebirth are frequently depicted in manga, which is probably a great subculture of Japan. In the course of my thinking about rebirth, I had thrown questions such as, wouldn't it be the inheritance of DNA? But now I recognize that soul is being reborn, rather literally. If not, the world looks empty, and more importantly, I rely on the words of Oyasama, the shrine of God. Also, I come to think that there are pragmatic benefits to believing in rebirth. For example, one would not dare to do bad things if they were to be carried over to the next life, like debts. Anyhow, let me introduce you the story and the words of Oyasama regarding rebirth. Anecdotes of Oyasama, number 48, titled Waiting, Waiting. Around 2 o'clock in the afternoon of November 9th, 1876, Kajiro Ueda was leaving for the Tenjin festival at Kayo. Suddenly, his daughter Naraito, who was weaving, began to cry. Iwagami-san of Furu, with his great mass of hair, is descending on me. I'm frightened. Later, she was administered all possible medical treatment without success. Through the devoted efforts of Yahei Nishiura, a neighbor, the Ueda family entered the faith, and Naraito gradually recovered. She returned to Jiba the following month, and was received by Oyasama, who graciously said to her, I have been waiting. You are my aunt, who saved me 5 generations ago. She was completely cured in 3 days. Naraito was then 14 years old. In this anecdote, Oyasama clearly told Naraito that Naraito was Oyasama's aunt who saved her life 5 generations ago. In the Osashizu, one of the 3 scriptures, there are words about rebirth. Osashizu in October 17th, 1906. You are thinking that human beings only have a single lifetime is incorrect. There are rebirth. I tell you this truth. Please settle it in your mind. There are rebirth, so clearly stated. Osashizu in April 16th, 1888. Parents become children, and children become parents. Sasa, she has been reborn. Osashizu in September 23rd, 1901. Please listen to the truth that everyone is reborn and reborn. Parents become children, and children become parents. Anything goes like this, or they look alike, don't they? As stated in the above Osashizu, oftentimes rebirth take place within close relationships, such as parents are reborn as children, and children are reborn as parents. There are, however, other cases that I read though. Hearing that parents are reborn as children, and children are reborn as parents, I think of giving back to each other and the true meaning of parents caring for children and vice versa. In Ofudesaki, one of the 3 scriptures written by Oyasama herself, I bring you together according to the causality of your previous lives and protect you. This settles the matter for all time. Ofudesaki Part 1, verse 74. The I here would probably be God the parent of human beings. We are brought together to each other according to the causality of our previous lives, and the causality itself is the blessing for the settling the matter eternally. So I interpret. For example, the fact that I got married to my wife, instead of complaining, why did I marry her? After a long time has passed, God brought her to marry me according to the causality of our previous lives for settling the matter for good. And I should probably be like how blessed I am, supposedly. The causality in which a parent becomes a child and a child becomes a parent, married couples, and etc. God's work to bring us together according to the causality of our previous lives. This is the blessing to settle the whole world for eternity. In the workings of God, I'd like to better myself.